Coming to you live from the WRFZ LP Rochester, New York studios here in downtown Rochester at the Hungerford Building. It is now time for Beyond the Pole. And here's our host, Katrina Lee.
Hello. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. And happy Mother's Day to all the people who just have dogs like myself. You know, they love me. They didn't get me any gifts for Mother's Day, but I bought myself some in honor and said, oh, thank you, children. You're the best. We have Bailey here and his wonderful dog, Zeus. And you probably want to wish your mom a happy Mother's Day also.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to my mom. I'll be going to see her actually Wednesday because we're doing the show today. And plus I bought a T-shirt with a picture of me and Zeus on it. You know, it says like, you know, Happy Mother's Day. Love Paul and Zeus. So we'll be giving that to her. She likes those sort of things.
Yeah, my mom was supposed to originally go on this show. Well, then she says she doesn't want to go on. Then she changes her mind, so she wants to go on and puts on my Facebook page for everyone to see. And then today, last minute, my mom decides not to go on. So I'm sitting there scrambling, rewriting the show because I have tons of free time to waste. No, not really, but she made it complicated, and I actually had these really nice plans for her. So that's kind of a letdown. We're supposed to eat at Trata and get like the to die for chicken and biscuits after. And then she complains to me, telling me that I should spend more time with her, which I do. I pretty much live there. And go because my sister is, and my sister's taking her on this special wine tour, and I guess you get this sterling silver bracelet at the first winery, and then you go to 22 different wineries. And I go, that's a great idea. Why don't we just, you know, go to all these bars and get a shot or a Bloody Mary at every bar, because I don't like wine. It's not quite my speed. And I'm like, and then you can drive me to Amherst Court so I can go to Erie County Holding Center and finish my sentence. So, yeah, you know, that wasn't a favorable joke on her end. But
yeah, that's...
It's been a fun week. I learned a lot. I'm at Unity, and I'm in this wonderful anger management type class. So I'm getting a lot of information I can share with people on all different topics and subjects. So it's keeping me up to date because it's been years since I went to college, and I haven't kept up with it. I was more occupied with designing dildos and other things like that, or making dancer clothing, and not quite being a social worker. So it's a nice little refresher. So I'm not really against it, but you know, I'd prefer not to spend my money and time in these classes or do it on my own terms, but it is what it is. So you take it as it comes.
Yep. I like the top on that sheet, Blind Rage.
Yes, I know. I have in front of me. It's actually called the Violence Ladder. So on the bottom ring is Sneaky Anger. Then it goes to the Cold Shoulder, then Blaming and Shaming, then Swearing, Screaming, and Yelling, then Demands and Threats, then Chasing and Holding, then Partially Controlled Violence, and then Blind Rage, where you just don't know what you're doing, and that's like the worst. Like, you're gonna probably regret it. And
it sounds like a cool band name, actually. Blind Rage.
Right? It is. That is a cool idea. So I don't really fit into any of the categories except at one point it was Demands and Threats, but not on this serious level. But I did find that I fall into the category of Sneaky Anger. And it's the easiest to climb, and you don't have to admit you're mad at anybody. The goal of Sneaky Anger is to totally frustrate somebody. So here's the way. Just forget what they want you to do. So you can just kind of play dumb, leave details and things out. Okay, I definitely done that. And then whining. So, yeah, I definitely been there and done that several times in probably every relationship at some point. Not consistently, but who hasn't? Step 2, the Cold Shoulder. I'm mad at you. I'm not going to talk about it. So that'll show you. That's not me. I kind of have diarrhea of the mouth and just kind of release the info quick. I don't hold grudges very well. So step 3, I actually skipped page, Blaming and Shaming. There's something wrong with you. I know it. I'm going to say it. I want you to feel bad because I'm angry with you. I don't really do that. I don't know. Have you ever done that?
What was that again?
Blaming and Shaming. Where you kind of blame someone for, like, is something wrong with you, not me. I know it. I'm going to say it. I want you to feel bad because I'm angry at you.
It's like projection. I don't really do that. I've always...
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have much of a filter. I'll call people out, but I'm brutally honest, and I'll admit my own faults, so I don't usually blame other people if it's
They gave some samples of, like, you're no good, you're not good enough, you're unlovable, you don't belong, you shouldn't be. I've never really been like that.
Yeah, I don't really do those.
Step 4, Swearing, Screaming, and Yelling. You know, I don't really scream, but I have a hearing impediment in my one ear, and I don't hear is clearly so I get excited. I end up talking really loud, but it's never been like, I hate you, I want you to die, screaming. I tend to more be resolved and try to talk and communicate before it gets to that point. Swearing, I swear, but not usually directly at someone. It's just after years of being in the adult industry and then working in pizzeria restaurants and stuff where kind of have a sailor's mouth and it's just kind of thrown in there. Like it's an effing good time or something. But if kids are around, I can do in the controlled, like girl next door. I could be an elementary school teacher vibe. So that. Step 5, demands and threats. Like who hasn't done that? Right. But there's this really cool story that I posted on my Facebook that I liked. I wanted to change the name to make it more fun, but no, I behaved and kept it as it is. But it's the Mighty Rolf. And there once lived a mighty giant named Rolf. Rolf was a rageaholic. He was strong. He was mean. He was a bully. And then one day, Rolf, the rageaholic, met a beautiful princess and goes, I demand $1 million. He said, pay up or else. Or else what? Asked the princess, who didn't seem all that scared. Or else I'll huff, I'll puff, and I'll blow your palace down. Well, the princess knew all about big, nasty rageaholics. She'd been married to one when she was younger. Oh, wow, this sounds like my life. Back then, she lived in a palace made of straw. Man, did he make a mess out of it. After she threw him out, she built a new palace. This one was made with 2x6s, reinforced walls, and dragon breath rated insulation. Take a hike, she told Rolf. Rolf didn't like that at all, so he huffed and he puffed all night. He puffed and puffed all day. He got red in the face, and then he turned blue. Gee, I thought nobody could make I could make anybody do what I wanted if I threatened them enough, he complained. Not me, said the princess. Now get out of here before I send for my army. And he did. I just thought that was really cute, and I had to read it in the class, and I was kind of laughing at it because it kind of reminded of myself. And I definitely wouldn't allow that type of negative energy or anything into my life at this point because I've been there, and with a lot of the classes and counseling I took at Willow, even House and Family Justice Center, and more coping skills. I learned that I couldn't repeat that. It'd be more better. Then they have chasing and holding, which is like when you take away someone's freedom. So you're hunting them down, you're taking away their car, you're trapping them, you're doing different stuff like that. I never experienced that, or I've never done that. I had been experienced it trapped in a house with someone's kids, so you can't go around or do anything. Then 7 is partially controlled violence: shove, pull, pinch, slap, hit, kick, choke, knife, and shoot. I definitely didn't do any knifing, shooting, or anything really like that. I had more of it done to me. Not quite that violent. And then, simply blind rage is just obviously
Blind
just go
rage.
Wild, stab someone, kill them.
Man, if I had to be trapped in a house with kids, though, man, I don't know about that. I think I'd rather hang myself.
Yeah, it was brutal. And I pulled a front, I never complained about the father or anything, and acted like it was all okay. Not like your dad's on a cocaine binge, cheating on me, and disappearing for 3 days with a whole bunch of escorts and hookers. No, I was like, let's go to Dave and Buster's, and I'll spend my money, not money your dad ever gave me, on you, and we can have a nice time. And, kept it to myself and pulled a front and image and did the right thing because I would never want to hurt or damage a child.
Yeah.
I know so many dancers, and I'm sure you have, who had really bad childhoods, and they kind of blame getting in the industry because of it. And I would never, ever, ever want to be that girl who helped that happen. But we are going to be cutting into our first song, which I selected, which is Brooks and Dunn, Neon Moon. And then we'll come back and you can tell us about some of the things that happened to you this week.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to Beyond the Pole Radio with Katrina Lee from Hustler, and we have Bailey in the house. And I want to thank one of our supporters, which is Ignition Interlock of Erie County. Nick is my favorite guy over there, and they are located at Custom Works, 5035 Transit Road, Depew, New York, 14043. I love Ignition. I love it. I have voluntary interlock, and I know I'll never get a DWI. I'll never put anyone else's lives at risk myself, and I'll save a ton of money because I can't do anything stupid. So if I do slip up and drink, I can't get in the car, and I can't do anything crazy. And I know a lot of people who have this who are recovering alcoholics, and they're just petrified that if they get a vehicle, they'll end up going to jail because they'll get a DWI. And I highly suggest this to everyone. And I've been dropping off pamphlets and flyers to a lot of different places like Unity up in Rochester. And it is Lilac Festival up here. There's a lot of awesome concerts and different events going on all week. And Rusty Roots going to be up here, and Johnny Lang. And they had this neat Led Zeppelin one on Saturday. So it's kind of cool. And I know you had an interesting week in the dating, not dating realm. So why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah. They say your vibe attracts your tribe. So I don't know what sort of vibe I'm putting out there, but crazy girls have just been coming out of the woodwork lately. And it started with this one girl I can't say the word on the air. Let's say she's teased me twice, okay?
Yeah.
So she teased me once many years ago, kind of made certain promises, didn't fit through. Then, this is a true story, I don't know, about 2 years ago, I saw her it was in Tonawanda at the Dome Stadium, and I didn't recognize who she was. Met her at the bar. She told me she was, whatever. We ended up making out a little bit at the bar. She actually kind of got me off at the bar a little bit without anybody noticing during karaoke. Well, then her friend's there. She starts promising like a threesome, right? I'm like, all right. So I'm like, I need to get these two out. Let's get it going. Well, then her friend's talking to some dude, and it's getting dragged out. So I, being the team player, the tease girl, we were still going to hook up. So I, being the team player, I said, look, this dude can come back and hook up with your friend at my house. I don't care as long as we can get going.
Yeah.
So I pulled the dude aside. I said, look, dude, I'm supposed to hook up with the tease girl, and this other chick wants to hook up with you. You're more than welcome to come into my house, but if you don't go or we don't leave, I'm not getting any, and I don't feel like staying here until 4 a.m. to be left with my hand. So I was like, you can come, don't steal anything. I got beer, blah, blah, blah. So the threesome went from just a one-on-one, whatever. So they go back, they hang out and hook up on the couch. And I'm supposed to hook up with this chick. And, of course, she only does a little bit of fellatio, let's just say. I think I can say that on the road. Like, after promising, this wild night of sex and all this. So
just
that's
enough
twice.
to keep you happy.
Yeah, that's twice now, and especially after I took my blue candy before, I took some Viagra, so I was ready to rock. So anyways, the bottom line is she's just very insecure. She's kind of a personality disorder. Then, of course, her Facebook page is always all men suck. And it just amazes me. Really, we all suck. You just sat there, got me off at a bar, promised a threesome, which then turned into just me and you, which wasn't an all night of sex, turned into just oral and you not barely taking your clothes off. And you've done this to me twice. So now, anyways... But yet, all men suck. And then, anyways, so then she has a wedding coming up, and she wants me to be her date at a wedding in June. And I'm like, look, this is stagette season. This is my busy season. You want me to take off on a Saturday in June? I said, you know what? Why? So you can tease me for the third time? I said, I'm not stupid. So I started hammering on her. I'm like, no, I'm not going. She was like, well, we should talk. We should consider a relationship. I was like, why would I want a relationship with you? I go, you smoke cigarettes every day for 20 years. You know I don't like smokers.
Yeah.
I go, you've teased me twice. You're so insecure, and I'm a male dancer. You think that's going to work? She's like, well, probably not. And I'm like, you just want me to be at your wedding as the trophy. I go, because when we get home, you're going to do the tease me again. And she kept it up and kept couldn't understand why I didn't want to take her to the wedding. So I finally did a meme, and I stuck it on my Facebook. It was me giving the finger, and it said her name. We'll call her the teaser. We'll say, no, I'm not going to the wedding with you, so you can't tease me again for the third time. And I stuck it right on Facebook. I said, I'll talk about it. Well, then, women and people don't pay attention. Some girl starts texting me that been trying to get together with coffee, but her schedule's so busy. Yeah. She literally is like, I'm like, when can you do coffee this week? She's like, 3:30 on Tuesday. It's like, is this 3:30 on Tuesday? That's like a weird time.
Yeah.
Did you spill water all over?
I spilled water all over my pants. I'm really wet right now.
She's really wet. So then this girl texts me. The one I've been trying to do with the coffee, I'm like, you're really that busy? It's like, I feel like I'm trying to schedule a job interview. So then she texts me out of nowhere and says, congratulations on the wedding proposal. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Wedding proposal.
She goes, your meme you did. I go, where did it say there was a wedding proposal anywhere in that meme? It said I had been teased twice by this girl, so I'm not going to the wedding with her.
Yeah.
I was like, doesn't anybody pay attention? So I told the one girl, the tease girl, I told her, you know what? The only way I would go to you if I'm free, I'm going to take a deposit of like $200. I said, I'm going to take money. And then that night, if you don't hook up with me, like you say, I'm keeping the money. So I'm at least getting paid for my time. So and then finally I just got sick of her and I blocked her. I said, you know what, I'm going to talk about you on the show. And she's like, well, what are you going to talk about? I go, just the truth. I go, it's just, some of you girls tease men, and then you want like a relationship or whatever, and I'm not interested, and you freak out. But
yeah, no, I can see that being frustrating. I don't know. I wouldn't say necessarily I'm a tease, but I don't give it up easy. It takes a while. And I know my value, really, because lunatics offer me thousands of dollars every day on Facebook to hook up and have sex with them, and I don't. I don't want to. Mine's like really low in numbers, and I like to keep it that way. So then when I'm with someone I care about, they know they're special. But, it's slowly progressed. I don't even think if I was dating, it would even be in like a month that you would get some head. But it's worth it long term.
Yeah, no, I agree. But she talked so much game.
Yeah, she
and
was saying she
threesomes
was,
and this and whatever. And then everybody come home and then she won't even take her clothes off.
Yeah, see, I won't like say you'll get all this.
Like, and then people wonder, not that I'm condoning it, why people get raped or assaulted or whatever. It's like, I don't. You do that to dudes. I mean, some dude might freak out. But then that doesn't even top the cake. So as you know, one person, we're going to call this girl Dumb Girl. So I used to make adult films, everybody, as you know, at the Turnpike. And like 14 years ago, this girl, she was 18 years old, made a film with us. Real cute girl, dumber than a box of rocks. I mean, just really dumb. But anyways, made a great film, sold a lot. Well, she apparently I found out like after had a lot of drug and alcohol problems. And, I mean, she doesn't even remember. She would come into the Turnpike store all drunk, complaining about me, I don't know for what, and ripped posters off the wall, and then, called me up. And then once she got paid, which was going around for amateur films, of course, at the bar at 24 Karat Gold, some feature was in there and chiming in her ear, oh, you only got that? You should be getting like $1,500 a film. No, that's feature film money, you idiot, not an amateur girl. So she called me, whatever. So anyways, all these years go by. This girl's now 32 years old. Sends me a Facebook request. She's lived such a rough life. From 18 to 32, didn't recognize her. Honestly, she looks like she's 52. Yeah. I mean, between the drugs, the cigarette smoking, the alcohol, and this, because if I would have known it was her, I wouldn't even accepted it.
I actually know her, and I was shocked on how she aged like that. And I mean, to everyone, really, like the more drugs and alcohol you do, the worse you're gonna look. I don't know anyone who looks really young and fresh as they age, and I look younger than I am. I never really got into drugs. I don't smoke and anything, and I never drink like heavy on a regular basis. And like these girls who are younger in the industry look older than me, so guys are confused. Yeah, they're like, whoa, you can't be that old. And
like you said when we were talking in the car, we won't name names, but she's aged the worst out of anybody we've seen. Yeah. And I didn't recognize her. I didn't know who she is. But then to go further into it, I didn't know who she was. And she then wrote to me, and she was like, well, yeah, I need to get my boobs done. And she talked all ghetto too to make it worse. She was like at the ghetto, like, and it's cheaper in Florida. It's mad money here, yo, like all that crap. Yeah. I'm like, I don't really talk like it, whatever. And so she was like, well, maybe we can, make a film like we did before. You should know who this is. And then I figured out who it was. And I'm like thinking, lady, if Bailey's gonna make a comeback film, it's certainly not gonna be with you. So I didn't say that to her, but I was like, nah. I said I'm kind of, and she was one of the reasons I retired from films because she was such a pain in the butt. You know, really, it's because of them. So I was like, nah, I'm not really doing anything films or whatever. I go, but and I told her, I said, I know you've had a lot of history of drugs and problems. I go, and I was in mental health court with clients, and I saw you brought in cuffs years ago. I said, what was that about? And she and of course, and this is the total victim role. I got set up for prostitution. You don't get set up. You must be doing something. Yeah. You're not walking along the street and they arrest you for prostitution. So anyways, I'm like, okay. I go, I heard a lot of stuff. I heard at this rehab place, you gave this guy head at a rehab place, and she was like, no, I was, everything was, of course, a change. She's like, well, you can call me and I'll explain this. And then she was like trying to work like money, like make a film. I was like, nah, I told her, I said, I'm not interested in calling you. And so then she started being a jerk and started attacking about one of my friends and this and that. So I'm like, all right. I said, well, listen, again, we're calling her Dumb Girl. I'm glad you're clean and sober. Take care. And then I just blocked her because I don't need it. If it was her, I wouldn't have known. And then I found out from you that she started writing all sorts of negative, nasty stuff on
all
her page.
over public so everyone could see it.
Yeah,
and I
trying
just want to
say
see it. I'm not her friend on Facebook, but I was like, I guess kind of Facebook stalking her out of curiosity, like, wow. And then I'm like, oh, I inboxed her and I said, I don't think that's a good idea. You're making yourself look really bad and you're not really bothering him. So it's just kind of stupid. And
apparently, so she's going on these rants about me. Oh, I was taken advantage of in the films. First of all, any girl in my films were all of age. I have all the paperwork. They're all paid. I treated my girls very good. There was no taking advantage of any film. You know, I'd have witnesses I had signed. I had multiple release forms. And second of all, it's like if anybody knows her, they know she was a crackhead and a pillhead and just crazy and stupid. And then I guess her rants were so bad, as you said, nobody was liking her rants. She started liking her own rants
her own stuff
about me. So if you hear some of that crap, it's not true. And this girl, she looks like a roadmap. I mean, I'm sorry. She looks beat. And when you're 32, you look 52. You know, it's good. I lead a pretty clean life. Yeah, I drink sometimes. I don't smoke. But I, take care of my stuff, and that's why I look younger than my age and a baby face. But I'm sorry, man. When you're in your 30s and you look like in your 50s, and then what kills me with the girls is the sense of entitlement. Your drama. Let's see. She also has a kid, and they said, oh, and she was arrogant too. And I sent you the screenshot. Arrogant. She was like, I'm clean and sober for 6 years, which I'm happy for. But she's like, I'm gorgeous, and everybody loves me and wants me. And I'm thinking, what?
It was all in big capital letters.
Yeah.
And I don't condone being mean and stuff, but a thing that I think is important is that you girls need to understand what you're doing, and you're 18, and your life is going to change. You don't know if you're going to meet the man of the love of your life. You're going to have a really great job or something. So if you're going to go into videos or even in adult magazines, make sure you really think you want to do it. It's not like these tattoos everyone's covering themselves in. This is really permanent, and they can throw them back in classics, and it's on the internet, and it can destroy your life completely.
And especially now with Pornhub and those, that stuff wasn't around. When I started making films, it was all VHS.
Yep.
I started with VHS. It wasn't huge on the internet, and people went to the stores.
And they bought it, so they were getting more money, too.
Yeah, and then it went
videos.
to DVD. Well, now everything's out there for free. My stuff's not out there for free. I would never allow my stuff out there for free. If I ever saw it on Pornhub, I'd write to them and get rid of it because I want to be paid. If my stuff's going to be out there, even though the main attraction's the women or whatever, I want to be paid. So nothing's for free for me. But, yeah, people don't think, but young dancers or anybody, you can abuse yourself with cigarette smoking is obviously the worst thing you can do for yourself. But too much alcohol and any hard drugs, man, it's just,
it really creeps up on you. And I've seen it, especially through the years.
And you're looking rough. And then if you can't dance and and it fries some of your brain. I mean, this girl was dumb back then. She must be 15 times dumber now. I mean, I'm happy if she is clean and sober, but she was actually very conceited and obviously very immature to sit there, and I just didn't really want to talk to her or call her or offer her any
put
money.
It for everyone to see.
And then all of a sudden you start bashing on me. Like, you got some problems, man.
Yeah, and I mean, she admitted she did. And, I've been in over 100 adult magazines. No videos, nothing like that, nothing involving guys, just myself. I did a lot of the Barely Legal, then the Real Girls of College series for University at Buffalo, Regular Hustler, Backdoor Babes, a bunch. And I did it before the advent of Facebook was really that big. So now I don't know now it's like a lost cause, everyone knows, but they all don't have copies of these magazines. And then I know I wouldn't have wanted to because everyone in school could have found out in a minute. And then these girls then deal with like the repercussions and being taunted. And this is an industry that there's going to be a lot of people fighting you against it. Including my mom was like, well, I don't sell my body or anything like all the time. I'm like, well, I don't do stuff like that. I'm like, I sell an image and it's different. It's all classy and like girl next door. And like, this is stuff that can bite you in the butt. And like long term, like you could find someone you really care about and his parents find out and then hate your guts and judge you or anything you don't know how to be taken on. So you better be strong and ready to deal with it or don't get into it.
Yeah, you can't be wishy-washy about films. And I've had some girls kind of be wishy-washy.
Yeah.
And then a week later, they called me up and were like, oh, can we not do it? Or I'm like, no, you've been paid. I'd already, or a year later.
Yeah.
Oh, can you
take
just
it off the shelf?
Take my photo off the cover. No. You've been paid.
They signed a contract.
Did the contract. I've done tons of editing work in my life and this. No.
Yeah, and I understand on both levels how it's fair. And even with I had this day company, I don't really do it anymore because it's not worth the hassle. But I was different. It was more female owned. So if these girls were like, oh, I don't want them on there, I changed my mind, I'm in school, I would take it down because there's tons of other girls to step up. But it's different with the videos. I didn't put that type of work into it. And I have many girls because they know about my history in the magazines, and I benefited. I'm a self-promoter. I went to all these clubs. I featured. I signed them all. I did very, very well off of it. And I tell them, like, if you're not sure if you want to do it, don't do it. Wait, you got time.
And I used to, actually, it's funny you said that because I used to offer that to all the girls too. Like, not only with a base pay or whatever, I'd also offer the option if they wanted 10 copies to sell.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if you're going to do it, I offered them to make continuous money.
Yeah.
So if you're local, you could sell them. Dudes will pay $50-$60 a pop probably for you to sell it right there. And then I offered.
Especially back then, my gosh.
Yeah, because there was no free
meet a
internet.
Local girl.
Yeah,
you
local
can
girl,
sign
whatever.
it.
Sign it, $40-$50 a pop. Here, so you got your base pay. You know, you got your 10 copies, and then I'd say after that, if you wanted to buy copies off me for $7-8 or whatever, so I made a few dollars or $10 a pop, and then you kept selling them for the rest of your life. So I always treated the girls good. Like, that was a bunch of nonsense.
And that's what I did with mine. I would only take 10% of this day and stuff because everyone else was gouging them. These girls didn't know what they're getting into. And then there's one of the companies, and it's male ran in Buffalo, puts their pictures on forever. He doesn't care. So you could be like 40 now and have kids, and it's up there, and then it's on, and it's like a popular site where your kids or friends can all see this stuff, and then they get taunted, and you're possibly hurting your children too. So really think about anything you get into. This isn't the best industry. You got to use your head and protect yourself because not a lot of people are going to protect you. You got to kind of be smart. There's some good companies out there and good people, but there's a lot of really bad ones that just don't care. Yep. And we are going to cut into our next song, which is ZZ Top, Got You Under Pressure. Welcome back to Beyond the Pole Radio, and we are on RochesterFreeRadio.com. You can live stream us, 106.3 in the Rochester area, and on podcast, usually uploaded by Tuesday on RochesterFreeRadio.com/podcast. This week was pretty fun for me. I work for Westers Traders, and I do their TV show, which is on Channel 18 on Sundays, and I'm the girl in the commercials, and I do several commercials for them. And I did a little thing, and I brought in Alice in Wonderland records, and then like these vintage stamps that were from Great Britain. Actually, we weren't sure when the show did it, so I'm gonna be up on their show soon, and they're a pretty cool place, and I'm just getting more and more experience with media, and I'm loving it. So having a blast. All these songs I just love. They're always songs I like possibly dance to at some point, or just great songs that you hear in strip clubs a lot. So pretty good about it. And our quote of the week, it is much more comfortable to be mad and know it than to be sane and have one's doubts. And this by G.B. Burgeon, which we'll post up later on our Facebook page, which is Beyond the Pole Radio. And I'm Katrina Lee, Katrina Lee on Facebook. And you can like my modeling page, or you can just follow. I have a lot of friends who can't probably be my friend, but I keep everything pretty much public so you can see what's up there. And I'm absolutely terrible at answering Messenger. I get a lot of messages every day, and so please try not to contact me that way. It's the worst avenue. But if you want to be a guest on our show, feel free to contact Beyond the Pole Radio on Facebook.
Yeah, don't message
we're looking
her
for
with
new
nonsense.
Faces.
Yeah, don't message her with nonsense.
Like don't ask to go on a date and, different stuff like that. If it's like legit things about work or featuring or different events or a real cause you have, like I'm all about hearing it. And we have right now a campaign that's probably going to be just continuously going on called Not Just a Pretty Face. We're collecting hygiene, makeup, cosmetic donations, and we're taking them to women's shelters and different prison outreach programs, and it's to help them build self-esteem, cover up bruises, or for job interviews. And it's a great cause, and we're getting a lot of donations, and I'm actually going to pick a place next week and drop one off. I got several bags from already, and my mom's a shopaholic, and she gets all the free gifts and stuff at Macy's. So all these extra bags from Lancome and different makeups that, weren't really her color. So we have quite a bit because she kind of went wild the past month. So that is kind of cool. We were picked up in Vegas, Reno, and Hawaii, and on stations out there. So we're going to have an even more expanding audience, which is awesome. And I thank everyone for listening to us. And it just builds more and more into it. And I like the fact that we are making a difference. And I talked to some people at Unity. It's a chemical dependency program. They also have mental health in Rochester. And a lot of the people from the program and the mild alcohol program want to come on the show. So we'll have some pretty cool graduates from there with a fresh insight. And when you first get out of rehab, you're like really motivated or get into it, or even in jail, like I'm never going to go back. I'm never going to use again. I'm going to change my life and that. And if you don't stick with that mentality and get into service work, which like is a strong belief also in AA, you're probably going to fall back to the vices. I'm not saying everyone will, but the more you help others, the more it keeps you on the right path and gets you with a stronger support system of friends and people maybe not like, oh, come on, let's go out drinking. Because every day it could be a potential massive struggle for me because I'm still like working in the clubs and promoting and going around, and all my friends are active users. I'm not saying all to extreme level, but I don't really have a good sober support system. Everyone drinks and uses vices, more marijuana, not any heavy drugs or heroin. But I know a lot of dancers and everyone on heroin. I'm just not personally close with them because it's not my lifestyle. And I try to stay away because I've lost so many people to overdoses and it's just so tragic. And I don't need more negativity in my life, but I do want to help these girls out. But in all reality, you have to want to help yourself. You can't force an addict to quit. You can throw them to jail over and over and over again, or these drug courts, and they don't work. That's why there's only a 40% success rate that they just showed on the internet and in the paper with Judge Russell and Cheektowaga. And you know, I guess like the rehab centers have even less because they're being forced. Like you have to like hit some to rock bottom or like end up with a kid and actually be like, I really want to change and make a difference. So.
Yeah, well, it's funny you mentioned Judge Russell, because when I worked, you know, my day job and had to meet in mental health court and drug courts, whatever. Yeah, unless the client really wants to change, it's not going to work. I mean, we had some lower functioning clients that were really, they actually liked going because they had nothing better to do. Or they really felt, oh man, I'm going to go to jail. So like some of them, it was really effective. Yeah. But then you have some others that were like, forget this. I'll take the plea.
There's a lot.
I'll take the month jail. Because one of the problems with some of the courts there, it was hard to get a graduation date. I never had any of my clients ever graduate. They either ended up back in jail or screwed stuff up. Yeah. You know, and then there's some lost causes that I know the mental health court won't even, they know the guy will never show up. So they actually, there's technically always a warrant out, but this guy's so out of it, they don't even bother. And they don't bother, like, even try to. And
it's terrible. Like, when even the court and people just give up on you.
Yeah, they just give up.
It's like, my God, how could you not want to give up on yourself?
Couldn't even, we had to give up. The guy was so low function, I couldn't even see him all the time. He just popped up at the office whenever he wanted. And because the former case manager allowed him to do that. Yeah. And would give him a few bucks. With these funds we had here and there. Well, I don't run it like that. You're not just going to show up at my office when you feel it's fine. Life doesn't work like
you're
that.
Probably lazy,
I'm busy,
overworked.
And if I'm not there, so it didn't work like that. But
well, they say like social work and all those jobs have the highest burnout rates, and you're underpaid, overworked, and it's just nonstop cases, especially with more and more drugs and alcohol and more prevalent. And even just in the jails, they have to build bigger ones for women because they're imprisoning way more women than ever before. And you know, it's all pretty much drug related crimes or stealing, boosting, in which they're doing it to get drugs, and that's just terrible. Not a fan of it at all, but I went to Unity and stuff, and they gave me this big sheet, but I'm going to read off some things I thought were interesting. It's all about like emotions, and our natural state is to be present and at peace. Then when a feeling arises, if we are healthy and not lost in depression, obsession, or addiction, we experience and express that feeling and then return to peace and presence. Just look at children. They are in the present moment. When a feeling is triggered, they may need to cry or have a tantrum. If their feelings are welcomed, acknowledged, and validated, then they are done fully expressing their emotions, they move back to being present again. Which is true. Then we're going to skip. I'm not going to read the whole sheet. But we basically have three options once we identify that we have a feeling. We can implode, stuff it down, avoid, and pretend it's not there. We can explode, blast it out disrespectfully or destructively. Or we can express it safely and appropriately. And then it's important to know that all emotions come in waves, sometimes small, manageable waves, and sometimes medium-sized, and sometimes big tidal waves. The next time you experience a wave of emotion, see if you can tell yourself that it'll pass. Try saying something soothing, nurturing, comforting to yourself, and or doing something soothing or non-harmful, obviously non-harmful to yourself. Don't use that. Doesn't help you. That'll only make it worse. This could be talking to someone you feel safe with, journaling, drawing, or creating some art. Express how you feel. The key here is to find the emotion inside of you and see how it would want to come out in a safe way. And then we all need a safe port in a storm so that when life gets hard, we have some place to land. For many, their safe places to land is obsessive thinking or checking out in some way, like drinking, drugs, alcohol, maybe even anger, taking it on the wrong people, harming yourself. There's people that are cutters. And when you can turn to internal soothing and external support, then you always have a truly safe place to land that do not leave you feeling worse afterwards. And you will have learned that the most important lesson in life is how to reveal and heal what you feel. So communication is key. I'm definitely a communicator. When I'm upset or something, I let people know. And I try to get myself to more positive arenas because I know that I can put myself in some stupid spots by like drinking a bottle of Jaeger and, just freaking out, blacking out, and doing things that I would never want to do. And then later on being upset because I'm ashamed that I did that.
I usually try to hit exercise is a huge one for me, like go to the gym or hit the heavy bag or do some dancing or anything. That's always a huge one for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do an occasional Facebook rant, but I'm getting into women or some people want to debate with me what I have a right to or not be angry about, which...
This just makes you probably more irritated.
It makes me more irritated. It's like, get off my page. If you don't like what I have to say or whatever, just leave me alone, So I've blocked more people than ever lately.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't really get out like that. I don't want to deal with it, and I don't get into topics about debate. Like my friend always talks about flat Earth. Like, you can spend your whole life trying to prove it's true or not. Like, you'll never know. And it's just nothing I have, I care about. I have so many more important things, not on her feeling, but like in my personal life going on that I just can't spend my time doing that. And, that at least keeps me off that level. And I try not to debate anyone because everyone's entitled to their own opinions. And that's a good thing. And a bad thing, but it depends on who you are with your opinions. But I know Zeus has his own Facebook page. What's that?
Yeah, Zeus's page is Zeus the dog on Facebook, and it's got a bunch of videos. The nice thing that I'll make people happy and cheerful. And it's funny, he's all sleeping right now during this show, but if you check out his videos and play them, you can kind of play them all simultaneously, like in a row. They can keep going. So it usually helps people out. I've tried to, which I have 1,200 Facebook friends, but I do not have 1,200 likes or follows on his page. So I'm disappointed in those of you.
Well, some people just don't check
it.
that. I know that for a fact.
Yeah,
so my
don't
friends will
accept
or some other
invites.
point. Look, because I get invited to so many pages and things because I have over 5,000 friends and followers that I just can't keep up with it. And I've complained to some of my friends, like, how am I going to know about your kid's birthday party? You're sending me on Facebook when I get bombed out every day on there. Can you treat me like I'm a human in the real world and send me a text or give me a call? Like, I'm not like, I like media and all the way the internet's going, but then there's some parts I actually despise. And I end up missing out on some opportunities that would have been great. But I know there's a big event coming up at the Ponderosa Sun Club where you feature, and there's like a big feature contest.
Yeah, the website is nudes-a-poppin, POPPEIN.com. Basically, the Ponderosa Sun Club in Roselawn, Indiana. It's always the third weekend in July. So it's like July 15th and 16th. Basically, it's big exotic dance contest. Dancers come from all over, hundreds of girls, bunch of men. That's the contest where I've won 13-time Entertainer of the Year. It's really 13-time Nude Entertainer of the Year. I've actually won 27 first place overall titles down there, including the couples. When you dance with the girl, I won with Annie Lane last year, so I'm trying to defend the couples champion with Annie Lane for the first time to be a 2-time couple with the same person because I've won 6. But anyways, the Ponderosa Sun Club, it's a big event, Roselawn, Indiana. It's something, it was ranked in HBO like top 10 sexiest, like of real sex, of like sexy things to do. Yeah,
I saw that on there. It's one of the top 10, I think, in the country, like the whole world. Too, of like events and stuff to go to.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
that's
ranked.
An accomplishment.
Yeah, the nudes are popping. It's ranked, and because it's nice because basically on a Sunday, and they get there early, like 7 a.m. The show usually starts at 10 a.m. on that Sunday, and Ron Jeremy's always there. They have a guest. Rikishi's the guest celebrity this year, that former wrestler. They've had Gene Simmons and Kid Rock and stuff like that. But anyways, but it's because people can bring the cameras and video cameras. Cameras take pictures of the girls. It's full nude. You don't, as far as being in the crowd, you don't have to be naked. You can be if you want. You don't have to, but you can walk around. It's like tickets go on sale May 13th. I believe they're around $60 or so, or $80. I don't know offhand.
I'm sure you can check it out online too.
Yeah, but you can bring your own booze and everything in.
Yeah,
so it's not like you're going there and then having to pay for all this other stuff. Which actually reminds me of this. I have an update on the Bobby Spear, and I think you saw it on my Facebook. For those of you with Bobby Spear, my friend that was injured and got his Prince Albert, they arrested that guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know
if
That's
good. Maybe because more people started hearing about it.
He
and
turned himself in. They arrested him, and he looks like a 52-year-old scumbag that lives with his parents. Like,
wow,
he's known to be. Of course, in the article, he already lied and said, "I didn't know that the Prince Albert was hooked to him. It was it concealed inside or something," which was complete bogus because it's a big spike ball. It looks like a Christmas lawn ornament, and he hooks it. It's not a nude show, so it's hooked through his thong. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So it's you. You know what you were doing.
Yeah.
And of course, so this article was out, and it got shared to my
sneaky anger, playing dumb. And
excuse me. And it got shared to my page, and I texted Bobby. I said, "Hey, do you want me to share this or not?" He goes, "Yeah, I can't comment over." And of course, you got some really dumb comments on there. People assuming just making jokes and being funny, and it's
not funny. If someone is seriously injured in his career and his life is going to be drastically changed, and for a while because of someone being ignorant.
They injured his penis, and one guy's like, "Well, his name's Bobby Spear, and if this goes to trial, it'll be a hung jury."
And then
one guy's
that
like,
is kind of funny.
That one is kind of funny, but then one guy was like, "Yeah, this happened to me too." I got mine pulled out, and so I got my lawyer, Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran. You gotta.
But then there was some people just being jerks, thinking it was like a gay club or a gay dancer. Like someone was like, "Well, I was about to say." Like almost like he deserved it or whatever. But then when I saw the picture with his girlfriend on the thing, then I'm not sure about the venue. It's like, so it's so funny how everybody, I'm reading these comments, are an expert on something they weren't at and weren't there.
Yeah, and they don't know. So that is ignorant, but you can never help.
So it's raised, and I saw you actually, Katrina, you had the most shares for money was from you.
Okay.
There was a stat on you can kind of look at the stats on the GoFundMe, and it had most shares that produced money.
Yeah.
And when I checked, you were at $100. So whatever your shares, those people produced 100, and that made me feel good because really, in essence, that really kind of a tribute to me because I had shared it with you, and I know some of my friends, like my friend Bruce, they had contributed. Then you shared it, and that contributed another 100, and you contributed. So it actually was. It's kind of a joint award.
Work,
I get dual credit for this award. But it had like a statistic that of how many shares from you, which was kind of interesting. So
hey, that's great. I didn't know that, so it's good to find out.
Yep.
But we're going to go into our last song before the end, and is Cranberry Salvation. Welcome back to Beyond the Pole on 106.3 FM, RochesterFreeRadio.com. And we're also on podcasts, RochesterFreeRadio.com/podcast, Facebook, Beyond the Pole Radio. And it is Mother's Day, and my grandma, actually, I'm going to send this out to her. I miss her. She's been dead for like 12 years, but she had a big thing about Fatima in Portugal, and she was very religious, and I actually, ironically, wanted to be a nun until I was 18 and was a religion teacher, and I used to stay at the convents for summers and literally tell people I want to be like a bride of God. Like, I really was gung-ho. I don't know what happened, but somehow I leapt into the adult industry right after it, but yesterday was the 100th year anniversary of Fatima and the children who were canonized as saints yesterday, who saw the Virgin Mary and everything and kind of shadows and spoke out. And my grandma went to Portugal and to Fatima as one of her big things. It was like her life goal. So I went and I got her this really neat Fatima plaque, and then I went to her grave. And my grandma liked to drink a lot of beers and smoke cigarettes, but she only did it on Tuesdays. So my mom used to tell us to go call her up and ask for things, and she'd be like, "I'll give it to you." Well, you have to have one cheat day a week.
Yeah, it's fun.
Keep it in control. So I went and I poured a beer on her grave and put the little plaque there and flowers. So it was really nice, and that's what I did for Mother's Day. I saw my mom a little bit. I got her really cool gifts. I got to figure out something to take her to since I don't spend enough time with her, supposedly, even though I technically half the time live in the house, and they see more of me than they ever have their whole lives. And you'd think they wouldn't want to see much more of me, but I know you're going to have a nice day with your mom on Wednesday. We hope everyone's having a nice time with their families and, hopes and, well wishes for everyone, even especially girls who are women who lost their children to something, or mothers who are dealing with their children who are addicts and struggling through recovery and maybe aren't exactly who they wanted to be or raise them. And I'm sure deep down your kids love you and wish they could be with you at the time, or anyone whose kids are even in jail. Like, it can be a real sad time for a lot of people, but a real good time. So it's what you make of it. So I always try to find the most positive memories and everything out there. But anything, going on or exciting, or any stags or...
No, I did my first divorce party Friday, and it was good. I've been promoting divorce parties for years to get one, because you figured with all the divorce rates, there would be a lot.
It's a big trend, too.
But
like all these special
I've never had
and...
one, so I finally got one, and they loved me. It went really well, and it was fun. It was a good time.
What costume did you wear?
I was a cop, and my iPod, I don't know, I guess it shows my age, started shuffling this after the opening song, started shuffling the songs. I don't know how, but I made it work, and they were real nice, and then I ate a bunch of cheese and pepperoni afterwards.
Nice.
Because usually they'll let me eat
like
food.
trays and stuff.
Yeah, and then
they want you to hang around.
Yeah,
so.
This was
usually women do.
This was a co-ed one, so the guys, I kept it kind of conservative, and the guys outside. Then they had like a penis pinata that they had hit, and some condoms.
What was inside? Oh,
they
condoms.
had candy and condoms, so they gave me a bunch of condoms. It was funny, so I took it, and then it was nice. The girl had these like a party favor for everyone. It was like a hangover gift bag, so it had like cool. Gatorade, crackers, Advil, Pepto-Bismol, like in each bag. That. Yeah, like a hangover thing.
It's clever. It's well put together. Good organizer. Really,
so
it sounds great.
I wrote, and ironically, the girl was a corrections officer too.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, so we were chatting. Not around.
Where? Oh, okay.
Not around here though, but close.
I'm
close. Yeah,
maybe I know her.
Might know each other. But so that was neat. So I can do divorce parties. People are. And I work for, Extraordinary Entertainment with Jessica Leland. And so if you know any of these stags or divorce parties, we can do them.
Yeah, and check out my adult store, which is inside Playmates in Byron. And I'm at a regular basis at Tally Ho in Rochester. We have a golf tournament upcoming, and I will be at that. And it's going to be a good time. It is every year. And we want to thank everyone again for listening. And we look forward to having you listen to us again next Sunday. So happy Mother's Day, everyone. Be safe.